So running coach here, and you do not need gym access. You don't need a ton of weights to do cross training, general strength and mobility, running specific strength work. You don't need anything but a sidewalk, a driveway. So check out the link attached to this tweet here, kylekranz.com/GSM, general strength and mobility. It has a warm-up routine, I think 1 or 2 an upper body routine, a running specific hip glute core routine. I don't think any equipment is necessary for any of these. And these are like stage 1 of multiple stages that I put my own runners through, that, you know, the strength, the programs progress into more dynamic running specific routines. But you don't need any equipment to get good running specific strength and mobility work in. So I hate to say this, but sometimes I joke, it's not really much of a joke, that if you have to tweet about it, you probably shouldn't run. The best runners in the world, not only the fastest, but just the guy down the street that runs consistently for years. They're also the best at resting when something doesn't feel quite right. They're also the best at easy running and often doing strength and mobility work, the 2 things I do right away with new clients that come to me for coaching. But it could be that a light week, a rest weekend, whatever. I don't know the details of your injury, your niggles, your tweaks, but it could be that not running through something that you're not sure if you should run through is the best decision, because otherwise you could just make it worse. So recommendations for running belts. I've used expensive ones, I've used cheap ones, I've used ones that are like a belt with a pocket, like an elastic, stretchy belt with a pocket up front. I've used ones like a flip belt or the Nathan Hipster that are like long tubes where you can kind of just put stuff wherever. It's just a tube and there's slits in it. And so, they're all better or worse. I think I prefer the ones that are like the flip belt or the Nathan Hipster, where it's more cloth, so it does soak up more sweat. So that's a consideration. But it's just like one big pocket, basically. I kind of have grown to prefer that over something like the Spy belt. So something to consider, maybe buy a couple pairs, keep the one that feels best, and return the rest of them. Hey, Scott. So I'm a running coach. I've had running coaches. I have a degree in nutrition, and I've had nutrition coaches. I've had business coaches. And if you check out my website, I think that all the people that have hired me, check out the testimonials. Check out my page here I think I've posted various testimonials here. They would agree that having a coach is nice, and having a coach, you get benefits from a variety of ways, whether it's accountability and motivation, having somebody slow you down, tell you to rest, tell you to eat more, help guide you, do harder, longer training sessions. I tell my runners that the best training plan is the one that follows you, not the other way around, and we base everything what you do off of how things are going, what's your schedule like, what's the weather like, all that good stuff. And so jump on a call, schedule a call, let's just chat, see what we can come up with together. So running books I recommend. Running with the Kenyans by Adirondand Finn, Depression Hates a Moving Target by Nita Sweeney, and what else? Those are always my 2 go-to ones. I don't know. Adirondand Finn has some other books that are good. 80-20 Running by Matt Fitzgerald is almost a must-read if you want to be a good long-term runner. So those would be my 3 recommendations. I'm going to go with those. 80-20 Running, Depression Hates a Moving Target, and Running with the Kenyans. Hey, how's it going? So I'm a coach. I work with about 40-some adult distance runners of varying abilities. Most are just regular people who want to do usually a half or a full marathon. It's kind of a goal of theirs, and they want a training plan that follows them, not the other way around. Some accountability, some motivation, with mindset, with their running habits, how their nutrition plays a part, strength work, all that good stuff. So check out my website, check out my testimonials, all that good stuff. I try to be very open with kind of what my clients say. I've posted exit interviews that my clients have, given me feedback for. So check it out and schedule a call, fill out the application, schedule a call on that page, and let's chat. Okay, so recommendations for ultra running shoes. I have the Lone Peak, and it's nice. I like it. I think I got it used on consignment with just a few miles. Never had a pair before, thought I'd try them. And the Lone Peak and the Torin I got also used, and just slightly, and yeah, I'm a big fan. So a lot of my athletes, a lot of my runner friends use Ultra, and general running shoe recommendations is if they feel good, they feel good, and they work for you. And so try on some pairs. If they feel like they fit the shape of your foot well, give them a go, and I think you'll like them. The Lone Peak is nice for the trail, but the Torin, it's a comfy shoe. I like it. So my general rule is if you have to tweet about it or you're not sure if you should run, you shouldn't run. I joke with the runners I coach that if the first time you tell me about an injury or something that's not feeling quite great is after you go run 30 or 60 minutes on it when you weren't sure if you should have, you owe me $500. And so that just goes to stress the importance of not running if something's not feeling great. The best runners in the world are also the best at not running when they're not sure if they should, because it could be the difference between going for a 30 or 60 minute run and making whatever it is worse and having to take off 2 to 4 weeks, or resting for a day or two and feeling fine. So it's a decision to be made. Make the smart one. Okay, motivation for running in hot, muggy conditions. It's the same motivation I use when I'm running when it's -10 Fahrenheit or when it's raining. Everything I do goes through the filter of, will I be glad I did this in the future? And no matter how crappy I think the weather is in my head, how crappy I think it is outside when I'm inside my house, it's never that bad. And I'm always glad I go for a run, no matter how hot it is, how cold it is, how wet it is outside. I'm always glad I went for that run. I'm always glad I pick up all of Quincy's toys and do the dishes when he goes to bed. So so the house is clean, put away in the evening for tomorrow morning. And so I'm always glad I did. It's the same with running. That's my motivation to get out when I really don't feel like it. Keep those morning runs going. I think they're the best. Recently, it was coming up to the evening, and I thought, I could go for a run. I could go for a jog tonight. But then I thought, but I was only going to go tonight or tomorrow. And I thought, well, why would I go tonight and then have to go to bed, where I could go tomorrow morning and just feel better for the entire rest of the day? And so that's what I did. Morning runs are superb if they're within your availability. You don't want to lose sleep or minimal sleep loss due to waking up early. But definitely the way to go. I always like to often have myself and my runners, especially for big long runs, lay out the gear, lay out the nutrition the night before. I think helps a lot. And then my alarm clock is a coffee machine in the kitchen that I can just hear percolating, and then this goes off a few minutes later. Nothing better than coffee in the morning. Okay, so I don't know what that graph is, where it's coming from. I'm assuming from your watch data somehow. But one thing that I will say that I've noticed is oftentimes when runners that I coach go into a taper towards a big event that they've been training for, their watch will tell them that their fitness, their VO2 max, whatever, is dropping. And I think that that's often the case because they're just training less hard, less long, and the watch thinks, oh, they're losing fitness. And in fact, you're tapering. Like you're doing what you need to be doing. And so I encourage my runners to turn that watch function off, to not be told they're being lazy or their fitness is going down, because it's not. I'm assuming you did what is appropriate.
So traveling to an event, I haven't done a lot of traveling for events. I typically keep them fairly local. Most of my events away have been like, oh, we're house sitting in Panama for a month, and we happen to have the Panama International Half Marathon happening. But when I went to Austin for the half marathon, when I went to Boston for the marathon, they were pretty good. I think the key was that I took it easy before the event, and I was in one spot. I've had athletes underestimate how much travel can impact their running. But the two times that I've really done it, I haven't had the travel hasn't had much of an impact because I got there early and I stuck in one spot and I relaxed. I didn't spend time on my feet, too much time on my feet sightseeing.